Well, hello everybody. Happy Friday. Hope everybody had a good 4th of July. We had quite a few boats offshore. We had a lot of people fishing inshore on what was a holiday for most people. And I'll tell you what happened in just a moment.
Are you ready for a fishing thrill like no other?
Oh, there he is! There he is! Oh, got him up!
As seen on Wicked Tune at Outer Banks, the Carolina Girl, captained by majestic Jesse Anderson, is a custom, luxurious, 53-foot Jarrett Bay built boat running out of Hatteras Harbor Marina. Let Jesse and her crew give you a fishing experience of a lifetime. To book a trip, go online to carolinagirlsportfishing.com. Carolina Girl Sport Fishing, your offshore adventure awaits.
Electricity. Something I don't mix well with at all, and that's why I only trust the folks at ELS OBX. ELS OBX offers a variety of services from custom electrical installations to lighting design. ELS OBX has the experience and know-how to complete any job. They're committed to providing the highest quality lighting and electrical installations or service at affordable prices. Visit them online at elsobx.com to get a brighter idea of how shockingly awesome they are. See what I did there? ELS OBX, electrical and lighting solutions you can count on.
Nothing much changed for our offshore fleet. A little bit on the scrappy side down in Hatteras. We did have a few blackfin tuna and a few mahi, and it was the haves and the have-nots. The way the mahi fishing is, when there's a big grass line, sargasso seaweed line, almost everybody can find some fish up and down that line. When you're relying on finding an old barnacled up board or a loading pallet or an old tree or any kind of stuff floating on the surface, well, that's like looking for a needle in a haystack in that big Atlantic Ocean. And it was kind of like that. If you found something floating, you caught you a few mahi or dolphin fish, whatever you want to call them. I call them dolphin. If not, it could be pretty slim pickings. There was, like I mentioned, a few blackfin tuna, a few skipjack tuna, stuff like that, and one or two blue marlin were caught down that way. Inshore fishing, bluefish, Spanish mackerel, typical summertime fare, a little bottom fishing going on. For the Oregon Inlet offshore fleet, a scattered sailfish, blue marlin, and even a white marlin or two, and we should start seeing more of those now as we get into the white marlin season in August and September. Fair mahi fishing. There were some yellowfin tuna, not lots of yellowfin tuna. There were some. There was also a really good catch with Captain Kenneth Brown on the Trophy Hunter, and he caught a grand slam. So good for him yesterday, and that just shows you there is some variety in those billfish catches. I also saw a couple wahoo. One of them was 70 pounds. That's a nice one. And their inshore fleet also scrapping for whatever they can get. Everything from bottom fishing for sea bass, tilefish, triggerfish, to some simple trolling for Spanish mackerel and bluefish. And then every once in a while, somebody run across the still seeing those schools of big drum and catching a few big drum. I haven't heard much on the cobia front at all. Pier and surf fishing is like it has been for a while. Sea mullets and croakers, a few puppy drum, a few black drum, a few spot, and a pompano or two. Now, I know that's very general information, but as far as specialized fishing goes, if you're on a pier or on any other kind of structure, the sheephead bite is really, really good. So, be prepared for that. We'll talk a little bit more about it in the backcountry in just a second. But surf fishing, the same kind of thing. If you're lucky, you might catch a speckled trout or a puppy drum. You might even catch a yearling drum, but mostly it's just been a little bit scrappy like it gets this time of year. When the weather gets really hot, remember it's important to fish early in the morning and late in the evening. As early in the morning as you can stand it, you need to be fishing with your bait in the water before that sun even thinks about breaking the horizon. Same thing in the evening. Take the kids out to eat, send them down with their phones so they won't bug you, and you get out on the beach and go fishing and fish till dark. And I'm just kidding about the kids on their phone. You might want to take them down to the shoreline, and it's a good time of day because the fish are feeding up in the wash, and you don't have to overcast. You're not trying to cast out there a mile. Right back of the break is where all the sand fleas are, and that's where all the predator fish will be. So keep that in mind. I'm going to take a little break. I'll be right back to tell you about our sound fishing in just a moment.
When it comes to finding phenomenal seafood, you gotta go insane. That's right, stop in to the Insane Seafood Market right there on Highway 64 in Columbia. Luke Midget and his crew work hard out on the water to make sure you have the freshest selection of seafood around. They provide a wide selection of fish, crabs, shrimp, oysters, and clams, just to name a few. Insane Seafood has a hot bar to satisfy that seafood craving right on the spot. Visit them online at insaneseafood.com and like them on social media. Go insane at Insane Seafood Market, Highway 64 in Columbia.
All right, so backcountry sound fishing. It's been a good summer so far. Speckled trout, that bite has been good, although it has slowed down in the last week or so. And I'm not seeing as much of the estuary fishing in the creek mouths, the creek heads, things like that. Most of it seems to be out in the open water, which is going to require a boat. Don't have a boat, no problem. There's plenty of charters available, backcountry boats down to Hatteras. Ricky Scarborough is a good one there out of Teach's Lair Marina, and there's a bunch more. Tammy Gray does a great job with that kind of stuff. And there are more in Hatteras, there are more in Oregon Inlet. Both Pirates Cove, Oregon Inlet, and Wanchese all offer backcountry guided trips on like 26-foot boats. And in addition to speckled trout, there's a good chance you're going to do some drum fishing. There have been some roving, whatever you want to call it, schools of the bigger drum, the yearlings and big drum. Sight casting of those is about as exciting as anything in the fishing world. You got that going on. There's some bluefish, and again, around any structure, and there's probably more opportunity in the sound. Like one of the places we've been talking about all week long is the Bonner Bridge Pier on the south side of Oregon Inlet. Really good place for sheephead fishing. And then there are a lot of other spots too. I know that some people have been catching them under the Pirates Cove Bridge, and you might consider the old Umstead Bridge as a spot to try too. That bridge is closed now, and they're doing major repairs, but that doesn't mean you can't fish underneath it. So that's what's going on the fishing front. I tell you one thing, the weather looks good for the next few days, but maybe a little more unsettled as we get into next week. So maybe get some of your fishing done over the weekend, and be careful, be safe, and have fun. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll keep you posted if anything changes.